Dad Mod's Media Machine presents the Brews with the Dudes podcast.
Okay.
All I can think of was the heat in my feet right now.
It's so nice. Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Brews with the Dudes, the Dad Mods podcast extraordinaire. I'm Jake
Extravaganza.
Lindquist,
I'm Donnie Allen.
and we are the Dudes.
Yeah, without Brews right now, though.
And I gotta go grab the brews from the back of the room. I see they've been sitting on the floor.
So they're ice cold.
We are currently in the garage, which is the reason why we're complaining about being cold. But I'm going to grab those beers and hope that they're not frozen because they were sitting on the ground.
Yeah, it's currently like negative 20 outside.
It's
something
rough.
stupid.
Yep. So I'm going to grab those beers. You keep telling the people about your ingrown pubic hair.
Okay, first off, there's only one.
Did you name it?
Yeah, I name it Wilfred. After Wilfred Brimley. It probably has diabetes, which is why. I have no clue where I'm going with that.
So he's the
He's the diabetic
diabetes
commercial dude.
Diabetes. Okay, so that Wilfred is not the same as Batman's Wilfred, right?
No, but if they were smart, they would have casted him as that Wilfred.
How funny would that be? So if God damn it. if somebody were to make a spin-off of just like a spoof movie. Is that what they call it? Spoof?
Yeah,
spoof movie of like Batman. How great would it be if Alfred was actually the diabetes dude?
That would be
The
hilarious.
sad thing is I think he died.
Yeah, he died.
I think he died.
6 or 7 years ago.
Did
I
he
think.
die of diabetes?
I don't know.
That's why the word die is in the
Diabetes, because it gets you sooner or later.
Yeah.
So
All right.
what do you got there?
Ladies and
Oh, you're
gentlemen,
all
we
tangled
have
up.
beer. Because that's what we do on this podcast. We talk shit and we
False pattern.
get hit. This is called False Pattern. It is by Modest Brewing Company. And this guy is a New England Pale Ale. So it's got a little bit of that American Pale Ale flavor to it. The dude at the liquor store recommended this based on the 17.7 by, what is it, Castle Danger?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's-
Yeah, I believe that's Castle Danger that makes that one.
That's the one we've been sipping on.
I drank so much beer in my time, I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track.
All right, first impressions.
It smells good.
Smells delightful.
I had to sniff it because I can breathe through my nose now.
Yeah.
So like,
Because it's an IPA,
Yes.
it clears your sinuses. Yeah, that's not bad.
it's really good.
Yeah, it's got a
It's-
nice little bit of skunk to it.
Yeah, but it's not sharp. It's a very smooth
No, it's
IPA.
not too bad.
Yeah, if you don't typically like IPAs because you find them too hoppy, I recommend trying this one. It's a lot smoother,
Yeah, definitely.
but it's super good, full of flavor.
Like if IPAs are usually like Sex Pistols punk rock, I'd say this is a little more The Clash.
Okay, that's a good way to put it, I guess.
Yep.
It's a really weird reference.
Hey man, I been listening to a little punk rock today.
The Clash is that they did Rock the Casbah, right?
Okay, so yes. The Clash they changed quite a bit over the years.
Due to a clash?
I guess. So their early stuff is very punk rock. It's very kind of like
London Calling, all that, right?
exactly. And then by the end, like they got more and more polished, and they just kind of they had a more polished sound, but they still had kind of their style.
Yeah, they're kind of more alt rock with punk influence, I think. I think that's a way to describe it. I mean, all 80s music is kind of weird to begin with.
Yeah, a lot of it is.
But yeah, like Rock the Casbah comes to mind, and that is a very weird song.
It is an odd song. It's very different. Yeah. So yeah, The Clash, man. Fucking, that's my comparative for this beer. I think this is the Clash of IPAs. Yeah, man. So, you've had a crazy work week.
Well, I've had this whole week's been nasty.
Yeah. But you're about to go get COVID. right?
Yeah. My plan is to get off the plane, see a pile of COVID, and just go. Oh, I hate it."
Wait, are we still talking about germs or? Well, I guess there's germs on
Germs,
whatever you
yeah.
go with. There's germs everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Those are the germs you're more than willing to get.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything where
Those
you-
are the germs you
Whoa.
usually pay for
Yeah.
in more ways than one.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, you pay for it initially, and,
And then you pay for
it the
about
rest
6
of your
months down
life.
the road.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Yeah. So the royal we, my wife.
She's royal.
Royal, whatever.
I get.
She hates winter. Not so much snow like us, just more the cold and how long it lasts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're going to Miami for a long weekend.
Nice.
So like it's 5 days, but we're flying on the 1st and the 5th day.
Okay, gotcha.
So it was one of those situations we were supposed to go to Seattle last year, then the pandemic hit, and we had to cancel everything. And because airlines are, I'm gonna say greedy. That's a good way to put them. They're greedy.
Trying to stay alive.
Yeah, but they are like, oh, you have until this date to use your tickets. So I don't know where the hell we were gonna go. Originally, like I said, we were gonna go to Seattle, but everything we wanted to do, we can't do right now. So plan
Right.
B was to go someplace warm in the coldest month we have.
Yeah.
The nervous
Yeah.
part though is we're taking the kids with.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've been having
personally,
anxiety.
Well, okay, so if I had the choice, if I had the support system that you guys do, kids would be staying home. In my view, for sure.
Yeah, I have a lot of reasons to leave them home.
The whole love thing,
Yeah, there's.
lack of.
I love my kids very much, but
Yeah,
anybody
until somebody offers you enough for one of them.
yeah, when you have a 3 and a 5-year-old going through TSA, just does not sound any more fun.
Oh man, trying to get them to like hang onto their shoes.
Well, I think Roman will like that. I think Roman will be like, "Oh, sweet, I gotta take my boots off."
Yeah, he'll probably take his pants off too.
I'll take my pants off. Like, oh, okay.
Oh man, I wonder if you get in trouble for that. You just act like you don't understand what TSA's orders are, and you just start taking your pants off. Like, no, sir. Like, no speak English. Even they're like the whitest looking dude ever. No speak English.
You know what? They probably get that enough that
Yeah,
they would just be
people fucking with
They'd
them.
just be like, "Fucking get through there, man! Like, knock this shit off."
Like, what is your problem?
Well, the shit thing is, that our flight's at 6, so not only are we gonna deal with people early in the morning, we gotta deal with TSA early in the morning. So
Yeah.
they're most likely at the end of their shift, waiting to go home after a night of just dealing with jerk offs.
Oh, let's see. So you're coming in at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's
leaving
when
at
we're
6
leaving
a.m..
at 6 a.m. So we're gonna get there probably 4:30 ish.
Yeah, actually, you might be at shift change.
Yeah, so we're
just
either
before.
gonna have somebody tired and pissed off, ready to go home, or somebody tired and pissed off because they just got to work.
Honestly, dude, like that might be the ideal time to go through because you might have people that are a little more laid back. You're not gonna have as big of a crowd.
Last time we went through an airport early in the morning, right around that shift change time. God, I can't fucking talk tonight. The TSA lady fucking wigged out on everybody and gave a whole lecture on what a liquid was.
Really?
She held up a shampoo bottle. She's like, "What is a liquid? It's not a solid. It's not a gas." And she went through this big spiel about why you can't have it and how you need to get rid of it. And she was not fucking around.
You know why she's upset? Because she's like, I've got a biology degree and I'm doing this shit.
Probably. I'm just trying to get through vet tech school and gotta deal with you fucks.
Exactly.
You idiots
Oh my
that
God,
can't just
6
purchase
a.m..
toothpaste when you get there.
Right. Well, it's so insane, like the rules that they have, because they're like some of them are logical, but some of them are so fucking arbitrary.
Yeah. Like the metal detectors, putting your bag on the belt and all that, they actually like I get that.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes
But
sense.
the liquids under 4 ounces,
Yeah.
like how do you come up with that?
Whoever can hijack a plane with a bottle of conditioner, like fucking like how
Right.
how like what do you do to make conditioner a weapon.
I think the most
Other than
lethal
throw it.
thing you could do with conditioner is use it to like lubricate the floor, so the
Somebody
stewardess
slips.
like slips and cracks her head open. Like that's the only thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, like because any
You could use it to whack off, but that's that could be a weapon. You're like, like I am.
It's loaded. It's loaded. And, okay, I'm out of shots. Just give me 15 minutes. Okay, I need to reload.
By that point, you've been tackled by the
By the secret
the
agent on
air
the plane.
police, whatever they're called.
Well, see, we're flying Sun Country. There's no air police.
There's no air police.
Yeah,
You never know. I mean, there might be some flunky.
It's probably some flight attendant's
Stepdad or
stepdad
husband.
or kid, and they just like, here's a box of Legos. If somebody comes and fucks with you, just throw it at them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, I mean that is violence.
Yeah, so
that works.
I don't know. I've been having a little bit of anxiety just getting through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kids will behave pretty well on the plane. Like we got a tablet so they can watch movies and music and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's early, so hopefully they'll just pass the fuck
Have
out.
you loaded anything onto it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
so
got
you loaded video. So that's the important thing.
Amazon.
Just because you have the tablet, you might get on there and be like, "Oh, wait a minute,
Shit.
there isn't Wi-Fi."
I hope you like Excel because you're gonna make a spreadsheet
Look,
for the next
honey,
3 hours.
This is how you play solitaire.
Who likes Snake?
Exactly.
But no, they're the Amazon Fire thingies or whatever. I don't even fucking know what they are. But so you do the Amazon account. So I have Prime right now, finally.
Nice.
And Amazon's like, cool, you can download 25 videos onto each tablet.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted. I downloaded 25 on each of there. I'm like, there's like 6 hours of content for you guys.
That's awesome.
I hope you just shut the fuck up, look out the window, and just be peaceful.
So what movies did you download onto there?
Oh God.
Showgirls. From Dusk to Dawn.
There's Stripes,
Pulp Fiction.
Pearl Harbor, Saving Private Ryan,
Shaving Ryan's Privates. What?
and then all of season 1 of SpongeBob.
Wait, are you being serious?
The SpongeBob's on there.
Oh, okay.
SpongeBob's on
Say
there.
Pearl Harbor's on there.
No,
Okay.
no, that was kind of a
What?
it's an okay film.
What movies are about like hijacking planes? Because you should load the iPad with that. See if the stewardess catches on.
It's not about hijacking planes, but the first one that comes to mind is Snakes on a Plane.
Hey, there you go.
Let's see, you do Snakes on a Plane. You can do Die Hard 2. That takes place in an airport.
Yep.
Was it Passenger 57?
Yeah, isn't there like a Liam Neeson and there's a Harrison Ford one? and
Yeah,
there's
there's one with oh, what's the girl's name? She was
Con
in
Air.
She was
Con Air.
Con Air is a classic.
Just watch that on repeat. I mean, you're going to Florida, so you could
Yeah.
probably only watch it once. But
Well, yeah.
Con Air, dude.
Put Airplane on there for her.
There you go. Hell yeah.
There's that chick from the Panic Room in Inside Man. I can't think of her name.
I don't know
Her
what
face.
you're talking about.
She did some airplane movie where they kidnapped her kid on the airplane and she had to like
Oh shit.
steal something for him or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, actually, I did watch that not long ago.
She-
the wife had that on.
Yeah, she designed the plane or something like that and
Yeah.
was a passenger on it.
Yeah, she was one of the engineers. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, it
It
was
was
some like
super
really
good.
epic,
It was a really good movie back.
crazy ass plane, and yeah, she had to find her daughter on the plane.
Yep.
The dudes, and she was crawling through all like the little passenger.
Yeah, trying to figure out who were good guys and bad
that.
guys
Yeah.
and shit. And
Yeah, and it had a big spin at the end of it too. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember it being kind of.
fuck
Yeah, it
is
was a
it called?
surprisingly good movie. But
I can't remember.
Nah, I don't fucking know what it's called.
Yeah.
I could text the wife, but I'm not going to. I don't know.
I could
What's
IMDb
that
it.
one movie about that one woman who was in the plane? Like what?
Yeah, so we'll see. We're going to the zoo. We got to go see sharks in the ocean.
Yeah.
So that should be pretty cool. I straight up told my son had a meltdown the other day at dinner, and I just was not in the fucking mood. And I told him, like, if you act like this in Florida, you will stay in Florida. I will leave your ass there.
There's a lot of alligators, kid.
Yeah. Like,
We might take a little trip out to the Everglades. I'm gonna see if I can find that cabin that Dexter had Dokes locked up in.
yeah. Yeah, so I think it'll be fun if they behave. But
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's an adventure.
it's not gonna be -20. That's
No.
the high hope right now. It's
No,
gonna be warm.
It'll be more tolerable for
I can-
sure. I mean, I was just like I was telling you earlier. I was talking to somebody on the phone here today who's currently down on the beach in Florida, and they're like, "Oh, it's 78 and sunny and gorgeous and no wind."
And we're like, we haven't seen the sun in 3 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
If I go outside without gloves on, I lose a
currently
hand.
-20. Earlier in the day, it was -5.
Yeah, it's nasty. But
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
That's Minnesota. Like we have February is a really shitty month.
Yeah.
And that's really the only cold month, especially this winter. This winter we've gotten lucky
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's been, mid-teens, 20s most of the winter, and it's just fine.
Well, and the crazy thing is, and I feel like nobody's going to believe us who isn't from the Midwest, who hasn't, like, experienced this, at least, enough regularly to get perspective on it. That, like, you get used to this shit.
To a degree,
it's
yeah.
cold as balls outside. I could walk to the gas station right now, which is 4 blocks away. I'd be super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't love it. I'd be cold, but I'd bundle up a little bit and I'd be fine.
Yep.
You know,
Well,
I used to walk to work in this shit, which was like a couple of miles, back when I was like 22.
Well, and what's funny is because it's -20 right now, that first day that it hits 30 degrees, it's like, holy shit, I can wear jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah, no joke. It feels tropical. And when it hits 50,
Oh, yeah, people are wearing shorts and flip-flops.
people are wearing shorts when it's above 0. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it could be 0 and they're wearing shorts.
They're like, oh, it's 1 degrees. Okay, cool, we're in the positives. I'm
think
going to wear those shorts.
The only time I haven't seen people wearing shorts is below 0. And that's just like, I haven't had a moment that's like logged in my memory that very clearly was, holy shit, it's below 0 and that guy's in shorts. But it's probably happened around here.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, there's always that one guy that's like, I'm just going to Walmart. So
Yeah.
I got my Crocs and my shorts on. Don't worry, though, I put on a jacket.
It's fucking nuts. Yeah, it's nuts. Well, and I have one distinct memory of my buddy Justin. You know Justin Riggs.
Yep.
So he and I used to share a garage over in Superior, Wisconsin, which is it's a mile from my house currently. We're living like right. Duluth is it's basically on a border. And so
Yes.
we rented this garage in Superior, and he had a Suburban that had a 350 throttle body injection V8. And it started rod knocking. And this thing, we just piss pounded the crap out of it and had a lot of fun. We used to take it out in the big snowstorms and stuff, and we would just, because it's so long, it's this gigantic
Yeah, they take up half a city
beast.
block.
You can just pitch it sideways everywhere. So if you've got the road to handle this thing, you can just drift all day long because your wheelbase is fucking ridiculous. It was hilarious. We just plow through snowbanks and shit. It was a good time. But it started rod knocking. And so he brought it over to the garage one day, and it was below 0 out. And this nutcase is in a t-shirt and jeans. And he's like, yeah, we should swap out the bearings in it. And I'm like, well, it's not going to fit in the garage because the garage wasn't that big, and we did have some other shit in it at the time. He pulls the nose in a little bit, throws cardboard down, which is basically cardboard on snow,
Yeah.
and proceeds to drop the oil pan and start swapping out bearings.
Jesus
Rod
Christ.
bearings.
No, thank you.
He went through the whole process. His arms were pink from being cold, but he did the whole thing. He was like, yeah, that was pretty chilly, but whatever. He's from I Falls.
Yeah, which is even further
So
north.
I Falls is the coldest place in the country.
Yeah, they can see Canada. Aren't they right there on the border?
Yes, so I've been up there a couple of times now, and yeah, you basically look at Canada, but for whatever reason, it's colder than a lot of places in Canada too. It's just this
Weird.
like perfect storm of just a spot in the state that gets so obscenely cold. I think they registered, was it 55 below the other day? 50 below, something
God
like that.
damn.
It was some
No thanks.
unbelievable. It was
No
50
thanks.
something below 0.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like 0 and -20 feel pretty much the same.
Yeah, they feel
know,
pretty similar.
But
Unless
like
there's wind. If there's wind, it's horrible.
-55, that sounds like you can tell. Like, how do you not go outside and just be like, oh, my lungs are freezing shut. This is
right.
it.
Yeah, like I don't know how your eyes wouldn't freeze at that point. It just sounds
Screw
horrible.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the fucking weather we get up here.
Yeah.
So that's the thing
Ugh.
is like, in my experience, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
So
you
we've
really
been
do.
out here since 4 o'clock, and it's currently 8:49. So it's been close to 5 hours in the garage, and I don't feel that cold.
I'm chilled. It's more my feet.
Yeah.
And like you don't I have 2 layers of socks on. It's just my toes are cold, and that's probably why I feel chilled. Is because my feet are cold.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're
Exactly
drinking cold beer.
That doesn't help.
I told you, man. We need a Keurig and hot chocolate.
Well, we could do Baileys and stuff then too.
Ooh,
So
that's
we
a
could-
good
we could
idea.
We could pass on beer for one
Or
night.
get
and do
peppermint
Baileys.
snobs and hot
We
chocolate.
could.
That I got.
Make some hot toddies.
I haven't had that since I almost got kicked out of a Culver's. So
Okay, you gotta tell that
yeah,
story.
so I was down in the cities. So we have a professional soccer team in Minnesota called Minnesota United. They used to be in the North American Soccer League, which is kind of like a Division II. And we went down to Blaine to see one of their games back in the day, and got shit faced. There was like 6 of us. We actually took my mother-in-law's van down there, and I straight up, I had a 6-pack of Surly, and after about 3 of them in about 40 minutes, I gave the keys to somebody else and said, "You're driving home tonight."
Nice.
and-
That was a good plan.
Yeah, me
Good
and one of
choice.
my friends, she was drinking hot chocolate with snobs, and she's like, "You gotta try this." So that's what they're serving at the game. So we were Surly beforehand, pre-gaming, and then having snobs the entire game.
Snobs?
Snobs. However the fuck you pronounce it.
Did you call it snobs?
No, pepper is snobs.
Schnapps.
Schnapps.
Yeah.
Schnapps.
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 It doesn't sound like it should be a word.
Schnapps. Okay.
Schnapps.
Sounds like a sound effect.
It does sound like it.
Schnapps.
What makes that sound effect?
You boink somebody in the
Schnapp.
nose.
It's like something wet hits an object. Schnapps. Like it's a splat sound.
It's kind of a splat
There's a
sound.
slapping effect in there. Schnapps. Like I feel like there's some kind of like initial thud. Schn is like the initial thud, and the schnapps.
Is
the
that-
knops part of it
See,
is like the slap.
To me, it's more when you take a big spoon of mashed potatoes and you fling it at the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all
Or
schnapps.
if you take a stingray and you frisbee it at something solid. Because the beginning part of it, it's collision, and then followed by like the slap. I don't know, man. I haven't hurled a lot of stingrays in my day, but I imagine that they flop. They make a good
make
like
a flopping sound.
like wet slap. Nice wet slap.
Wet slap.
Something I'm describing other things.
So
Never mind,
next time
guys,
you're doing
never
it with
mind,
your
guys.
wife, you just gonna be like schnapps.
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 I might have to break that one out. Schnapps, schnapps, schnapps.
Schnapps.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, anyways, we were shit faced, went to Culver's, and we're drunk.
So I was beating this bitch with a bag of nickels.
Gators bitches better be wearing jimmies. No, you're not other guys.
No, it's great, dude.
Oh,
It's
right
great.
over
Carry
here.
on.
Yeah, so we went to Culver's after the game to get snacks because when you're drunk, Culver's sounds
Get
fantastic.
Schnacks.
Yeah, and her and I walked in. Well, by walked in, I mean we like stumbled in the door and one of us fell down.
Wow.
And they just looked at us real loud and giggly and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no,
You're not gonna be
You fucking straighten up, order your shit, and get out, or get out.
Really?
Yeah, so we ended up ordering like
Oh no, they
4
were that
large.
blunt with
We
you?
ordered like 4 large fries and I think a cheesy curd.
That's it?
Something
No
dumb.
burgers.
No burgers, just
I
like-
just want cheese and potato. That's amazing.
I don't remember the drive home.
Well, I mean, the next time that we have Steve on here, and hopefully Charlie, we'll tell the story of when we got kicked out of an Olive Garden.
Yeah, I wasn't for that one. I do remember.
It was a good time.
I do remember Steve being shit faced, falling out of a car and running home through downtown.
Just tuck and roll.
Just tuck
Yeah,
and
it was
roll
a
on
good
Central
time.
Hillside.
It was definitely a good time, man.
Oh God. Yeah, I haven't been drunk in like a while, and I think that's probably a good thing. I
That level of drunk.
Well, I think the older you get, you realize that the day after isn't worth the day of.
Well, and it's because it does cost you the day after.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I mean, there's twice a year I can think of that I actually drink, and that would be Power Cruise,
Yeah.
and then like that disc golf tournament in Wisconsin.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you're camping and you have nothing else to do, so you're drinking, but
Yeah, well, and isn't that funny how like certain events, it almost seems like it you don't get hangovers. I don't know why.
well, probably because Power Cruise is one big hangover.
Well, that's the thing is like we don't do hair of the dog shit though.
No.
So hair of the dog shit. We don't do hair of the dog there because we want to drive. So like, I don't know why. We drink copious amounts of booze.
Yes.
And I've never been hungover at Power Cruise.
No. Oh, actually, I have a philosophy to this. Breakfast.
Okay.
Because they have
I eat breakfast. You
yeah,
know that, right?
but it's like this. They have this bar and grill. I guess you can say it's a bar and grill.
Yeah.
It's a bar that serves food. But their breakfast is like very greasy dinery.
Oh, dude,
And it's super good. It's a little
It is a
overpriced,
greasy
but it's
spoon.
super good. So I think that's such a greasy spoon spot that it just kind of soaks up the alcohol.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that.
I'll eat biscuits and gravy every single morning when I'm there.
Yeah,
And it
4
just like
days.
soaks up the alcohol. And I feel fantastic. Like I could run a marathon,
Yep.
or at least look at somebody running a marathon.
Right.
What is your essential toolkit that every homeowner
Oh my
should
God, I'm
have
so
at
glad you
some
brought
point
this
in
up.
time?
So, how did we arrive at this earlier? What was the discussion?
The fact that I shouldn't call him an idiot. That was my first response. So my stepdad, I fucking love the guy. Awesome dude.
He's gonna watch this. He's gonna be like, Donnie, I disown you.
He will never see this.
No,
No,
because
I-
we're not talking about what's he into?
Movies,
Star Wars,
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
He's more of a
He's
Trekkie.
a Trekkie.
He's more of a Trekkie. He likes the Star Wars too, but he's more of a Trekkie.
Yeah, I do like Star Trek. Star Trek.
No, I just
it's aight.
the stuff we talk about. He's not a car guy. Like he likes Top Gear, but
Yeah.
almost everybody likes Top Gear.
Yeah, yeah.
Top Gear's like the perfect non-car guy show.
Yeah, non-car
But-
guy, car guy show.
Yeah, so he's not a super mechanical, hands-on type person, and I've had to help him with some really, I don't want to say lame projects, but there's no better way to describe it. Just dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Like putting up a shelf. Today he asked me to put in a battery in his car, and I had to tell him no because we're with our trip and all that. Like I don't have time today. But putting a battery in your car is something anybody should be able to do. You need a ratchet, a socket, maybe an extension.
Yeah.
In the case of the wife's car, I had a flathead screwdriver. There's like a plastic duct piece that helped with noise from the intake. I had to pop that off real quick. But it's simple. It's super simple.
It is very simple. Yeah.
And they have a basic socket set, but when I had to help them put it on the shelf, I'm like, okay, go grab your drill. They didn't have a drill. Like, how do you own a house and not own a drill?
Yeah.
There are some tools you have to have as a homeowner. I
Yeah,
feel.
that's pretty baffling. So when you say a drill, we're talking about
like a cordless.
so
drill. It
the
doesn't have
new
anything fancy.
Yeah, the new cordless setups now. It's like it usually comes in a combination. You've got an impact and then you've got a drill.
Yeah, I think I paid $250 for my rigid.
Yeah.
I think so. That was like 5 years ago. And
Well, and
that's
I'm pretty
fantastic.
sure you can get Harbor Freight ones.
Oh, yeah.
The Bauer ones for like $150.
Yep, just fine. For
Crazy cheap. They might even be like $100 now. I
if
don't
you're
know.
not even a weekend warrior, if you're somebody who's like, I need to have a drill because I might need it 3 times a year, Harbor Freight is perfect.
Yeah, if
Go by
you're,
that.
I don't know, if you're fucking inept, if you can't put up a shelf, you should still own this stuff.
If you're confused why Harbor Freight is located in a mall parking lot and not in Canal, it works for you just fine.
Not in Canal Park.
Yeah, you know where the harbor is.
Yes, that's wow. Yeah. Harbor Freight tools in this case work just fine
Yep.
for a newbie,
Okay.
right? So what we were talking about earlier was that like I cracked the joke that it should be factored into the closing costs.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if you're going to buy a house, there should be a basic toolkit that comes with every single house purchase.
I would go out on a limb and even say that if you are going to have a mortgage, if you are borrowing money from the bank, they're going to make lots of money off of you because you got 30 years to pay the shit off. They should give you a housewarming gift of like $500 worth of tools.
Yeah,
Including-
totally.
Including a drill with a basic drill bit set, basic screwdriver adapters, basic set of screwdrivers. I feel you need a pipe wrench.
Yep.
and an adjustable wrench.
Yes, crescent wrench. Yeah.
Crescent wrench. Yep.
Adjustable is what they are. Crescent is the brand, but
Yeah.
yep.
A hammer. A level. Tape measure.
Ladder.
Ooh, ladder's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Ladder to me is right there on that line.
I think a ladder is as important as a hammer. Because, in my opinion, you can't paint shit without a ladder.
Fair enough. I guess it depends on the house.
Yeah.
For instance, our first house was a small enough house that we never owned a ladder. I never needed to own a ladder because I could get away.
Jesus.
I could get away literally with either like the that thing that's behind the camera. You guys can't see.
the step stool.
The step stool type thing. Yeah,
like a 3-level step
Yep,
stool.
that works
2-level.
just fine for that little house. We moved to a much bigger house, and I took a little while, but I did buy a ladder eventually off Carrie.
Yeah.
And yeah, a ladder's fantastic to have. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think that could make the list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
not top 5, top 10.
I think a ladder is essential because, like, in the event that you're, I don't know, maybe you got taller basement or a taller basement, and here's the thing, like your step stool is probably that would probably take care of it. But I like to have the stability of a ladder so that if I'm working on something that's up in the floor joists, it's wiring or something like that, I want to be able to, like, be up on a ladder. I can set, like, my wiring tools and stuff like that up on the steps and whatever. So it's all kind of, like, right in front of me.
But see, your reasoning for having a ladder defeats the purpose of the conversation. Because we're talking, like, the bare basics, like, people who aren't building stuff.
Oh, sure. And that's
But
just an example of, like, what I would use it for.
I think a ladder still would make that list. Simply because, like, if your gutter's clogged.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what I was going to say, is a step stool's not going to get you to your gutters.
No. We're fortunate with our house. We have a little walkout balcony off one of our rooms that I have access to everything. But yeah, I think that, ladder would be on that list. What else would make that list? Maybe a very...
Lawnmower?
Yeah, lawnmower, snow shovel would be on that list. Not necessarily snow blower, unless you own a lot of property.
Right.
But shovel for sure.
Yeah, I think, like, the lawnmower, the snow blower, stuff like that, like, those are bigger ticket items. That shouldn't necessarily be, like, the housewarming gift from the bank or from
No, that's something you should go purchase, though.
But,
or just borrow from your friend for 5 years.
Well, the irony is that I had this shitty, so we had this lawnmower for ages, and it worked great for a little while, and then it just stopped working one season, and then I just put it off. I'd borrow yours every now and again, and I'd let the grass get ridiculously tall, because I'm always working on this shit.
Yeah, and they're just like, hey, when you come over today, you want to bring your lawnmower?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Well, and then I bought a motor for that lawnmower, and then, like, I ended up, like, digging into that lawnmower a little bit more, and the deck was rotten. There's a fucking rust hole in the thing. So I was like, God damn it. And then you're like, well, I got this old shitty Craftsman. But I was like, perfect. Bring that over. Brought it over. Whole nother season went by.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the motor swapped into it.
At one point in time, I think you had 2 of my lawnmowers over here.
Yes.
and one of my ladders. I think you had one of my ladders at one point in time, didn't you?
I had the ladders. You didn't have a ladder.
Okay.
You borrowed my ladder.
Yeah, I was borrowing ladders. You were borrowing lawnmowers.
Exactly.
Somehow, between the 2 idiots, we were able to maintain 2 different houses.
Yeah, it works out. It works out.
The moral of the story is you don't need any of this shit. You need to know somebody who has it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was willing to borrow it to you.
I did end up motor
Lend it to
swapping
ya.
that lawnmower. It's done now.
About time.
Yeah. Swap the motor on. It works pretty great.
How'd the Dad Mods video turn out?
I never finished the video. Maybe we'll finish that one of these days. Get some nice slow motion of grass getting cut. See, the thing is, like, I still need to build the chute. That's the problem. Is that Craftsman that you gave me?
Just an STI hood scoop.
Oh, that's a funny idea. That's kind of brilliant. Huh. I wonder if that would work. It'd probably clog, but
Probably.
it's a fun idea.
or you'd blow a gasket on the lawnmower.
You blow the head gasket, yeah, or
Put
it
it on
starts
there.
rod
What's
knocking.
that? It's got knocked. No.
Yeah, you put the fucking hood scoop on it and starts knocking.
Every time you mow the lawn, you're just vaping.
I could do that. I'd be in my dad's shorts with my Dockers shirt. Is it Dockers shirt? No, what are they? Polo shirts.
Polos. It's polos.
Polo shirts, Docker shorts, New Balance shoes, socks way too long, listening to Skinnerd.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, Skinnerd. Mm-hmm. Oh, no thanks.
You don't like Skinnerd?
I don't mind Skinnerd. I like Freebird. And I
Yeah.
like Simple Man.
Yes.
That's about it.
There's some good Skinner tunes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's just what you gotta do. You gotta go full dad mode when you're mowing the lawn. But okay. So as far as the necessary tools, I think we've captured that pretty well.
Work light. More than just a cell
yeah,
phone.
Yeah,
I feel that's
definitely.
another good one to have.
Well, and I think like outlet testers would be
Yeah.
another good one. Like the ones that have like the 3-position lights where it says like, "Hey, this outlet's good,"
Or it's
this
reversed or
one's,
something.
Yeah, this
Yep.
one polarity's reversed, or this one is like it's dead or whatever.
I don't actually have one of those.
Yeah, they're super handy because you're just like literally plugging it in.
Yeah, I know.
So
You use
if
them at work
you,
all the time.
yeah, if like say you're running a new branch circuit or something like that in your house, and instead of like plugging in a device that's going to explode if it's like wired completely wrong, which really house wiring, you'd have to really fuck it up to have
Yeah.
that happen. But yeah, like you just want to have a quick look at what's happening with it. You plug them in and they'll tell you exactly what's going on.
Very basics understands what they're looking at that too, because you gotta kind of
It tells it right on it.
but you kind of have to. You still kind of have to know what it's talking about. It'll tell you that the
Yeah.
polarity is reversed, but if you don't know what polarity is,
If you
that
plug
doesn't
it
tell
in
you.
and the polarity is reversed, even if you're a complete knob, you should know to call an electrician and be like, "There's something wrong with this."
you should be able to.
you
Speaking of
start plugging
complete
in
knob,
your-
I have a story to add to
Coffee
that.
maker.
So on top of my stepdad calling me to put a battery in his car, and after I tried my best to be very nice and tell him no,
Yeah.
later in the afternoon, my grandmother sends me a message. Hey, I had to buy a new hot water heater. Come help me put a hot water heater in my basement.
So did you install it
Not
with her?
install it. She
Oh,
needed me
okay.
to unload it. My sister had her husband's truck. We were just getting into the basement.
Mm-hmm.
So I get there, and we're waiting for her neighbor to get home to help move this thing because it's not heavy. It's more awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Well, first come downstairs and show me how to turn off the hot water heater. I want to turn the water off so that way, it's not running constantly and stuff like that." Okay, well, we get down there and she's like, "You see that little puddle? Like, yeah, it's leaking and all that."
Yeah, it's a rotten note on the bottom.
Well, this thing looks new.
The one that's in the basement?
Yeah, it looks super clean. So I'm like, okay, well, I love my grandmother, but she's old.
Yeah.
So let me actually look. That she saw water. She saw a hot water heater. She saw water. Like, oh shit, my hot water heater is leaking.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of her investigation. So if she was a cop, it would have been awful. She would have been really bad. She would have arrested the wrong people constantly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I pulled out my phone, and I'm looking at the water, and right behind the hot water heater is the chimney for the house. Okay.
Oh, no.
I look, and I just went like this, and on the side of the chimney is a little metal plate. I'm assuming that you take that off so you can clean the chimney out, all that
Yes,
kind of stuff.
It's an access.
Yep.
Yeah.
The water was coming from the access plate for the chimney.
Oh, no.
And I told my grandmother, I'm like, you sure you need a hot water heater? Oh, yeah, see, there's water on the floor right next to the hot water heater. Yeah, Grandma, did you look on the other side of the hot water heater? No, the puddle's right here. Yes, but do you know how gravity works? Water will find the lowest point.
Oh, no.
And like, it's not, it's your chimney. Like, you probably had ice built up. It melted during the day or whatever. So be it. And I mean, her hot water heater's like 13 years old, 12 years old. So she's
and does she have like a newer furnace, like a high efficiency?
I'm not
direct
too
vent
sure. I
one?
didn't. I was kind of pissed off. I had to help a bunch of people or
So,
try to help a bunch of people today.
The newer direct vent ones, they actually create some condensation. Like a lot of them
okay.
have a drain tube in the exhaust pipe, like mine does. The 95% efficiency ones, or 99 or 98, whatever the hell they are. Yeah, that thing, it actually has a drain line that runs to the floor drain in the basement, because it has so much condensation that comes out of that. So it can also come out of the pipes, right?
Okay.
So if that's venting into her existing chimney, that could be a part of the water. It could be
Okay.
nothing more than the
It
fact that
very
she
well
has
could
a
be.
properly operating furnace.
Yeah, so she's like, well, what am I
Jesus.
gonna do with the hot water heater? Fucking return
I
it.
don't know, Grandma. Yeah.
I ain't taking it.
Bring
I don't
it
need
back.
it. I ended up.
Did she bring it back? Or does she have a
well,
brand new
she
water
has
heater?
she has a plumber coming out tomorrow to look at it. She's like, I already have an appointment scheduled. Her hot water heater's like 13 or 15 years old, so she's really.
Okay.
It looks really nice, but she's like, it was 7 years old. I've lived when I moved in. She's been there 5 years. She's like, I'm still gonna have somebody come out and inspect it. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, I'm gonna put it in your garage though, instead of fucking lugging it down the stairs.
Yeah.
And if you don't need it, we'll return it. But I'm like, Grandma, you could have spent 4 more seconds and you could have avoided all of this.
Oh, I know, right?
It was just like you sent me this text message at like 11:30.
You gotta love the elderly,
It's
man.
now 3:00. So for the last 3.5 hours, you neglected to just look on the other side of the hot water heater.
Just try and find the source of the
The
water.
water, yeah.
It's just like anytime there's water in the house, you don't go like, oh, what's the most obvious thing? You go, what is the source?
Yeah.
Try and
Where is
find
it
the
coming
source.
from?
You're not just like, oh, there's water. Yeah, but what's the source?
Yeah, God, I just looked at him
Yeah.
like, I love you, but when you get to go into a home,
When are you gonna not be my problem?
yeah, when do I have to stop taking care of you? I love her to death. She's a very sweet old lady.
You
She's
gotta love them.
easy to make fun of,
Yeah.
mainly because she's elderly.
Yeah. I know. Isn't that like crazy to think that we're gonna be elderly at some point?
Oh yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna live long enough to be a nuisance.
Because you say those stupid
Oh, I'm
fucking
gonna live to be like
things,
110.
you're gonna live old as fuck.
Oh no, I'm gonna hit 75 and I'm doing drugs.
Yeah, it's the people who are just like, whoa, I'm solely focused on retirement. I save all of my money for retirement.
yeah.
I forego all of experiences for retirement.
They die 6 months
They-
before they retire.
Yeah, they drop dead. Exactly.
Yeah, my father-in-law is kind of like that. He puts a lot into his retirement. And I've had this
Yeah.
conversation with him. Like, I'm all for being responsible. I put money in my retirement, but I'm not going to dump loads of cash in the hopes I get to enjoy it someday. It's like,
Exactly.
I'm here now.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy some of that now.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Like I've got a Roth, and that's my main retirement fund. But then I've also got I invest now these days
Yeah, you keep hounding me to do that.
Yeah, I invest heavily in the stock market
Apparently,
because it's
buying
been a lot of
BMW
fun.
parts isn't a good investment.
Yeah, cars aren't the best investment unless you're buying Porsches. If
Yeah,
you were buying Porsches 10 years ago,
Old
best
Volkswagens,
investment.
awesome. Scoop up all the bugs, all the buses, the Gias.
Don't do that. Don't do any of that. It's a terrible investment.
Leave that for us.
Yeah, leave it for us. Yeah.
You want to buy Priuses and Geos.
Just stick to Honda
and
Insights
Saturns.
and yeah, precisely Saturn
Pay-
Views.
I'd say-
Buy all the Saturn Views that you can find.
The Aztec is going to be the next badass car to own.
The
You want to
Aztec.
buy those up.
I've seen a couple of pretty stanced out ones. One that had an LS swap in it. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still an Aztec.
I know. I'd pimp it if it had an LS in it.
Here's the thing.
Rear-wheel drive?
Breaking Bad ruined those cars for me.
Ruined or made them awesome?
Ruined, because every time I see him, like, oh, that guy does meth.
Well, yeah.
You have to be on meth to own one of those.
Are you on coke?
At the moment,
You own an 80s BMW.
and I'm financially responsible
Okay, fair enough.
for the most
I'm a
part.
high functioning coke addict.
If my boss is watching this, I don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't piss test him. Don't.
Don't say things like that.
Yeah, man. What the fuck are we talking about even?
Cocaine.
The Eric Clapton song, or oh man. I think one of the greatest tragedies when the boomer generation dies off. Well, actually, I shouldn't say one of the greatest tragedies because it's already happened. It's already happened. One of the things that the boomers brought. Let me back this up. 2 tall beers into this thing. I think I've got a lot of complaints about the boomers.
Yes.
But one of the things that they did right, besides muscle cars are pretty cool.
Muscle cars are pretty cool.
Is their music.
Depends on the decade.
So the 70s.
Oh yeah, love
Good
me some-
shit in the 70s.
Oh yeah, CCR, early Queen. You got freaking Black
Led
Sabbath,
Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Rush
Creedence is-
Rush was the mid 70s, weren't they?
Oh man, Rush I think was primarily the 80s, but
Well,
I think they might have started in the 70s.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they started in the 70s.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is like
Pink Floyd.
yeah,
Oh,
dude,
God.
yeah. I fucking love. Well, and here's the. I don't like regularly listen to it, but I really appreciate the music from the 70s.
Same here. Actually, 2 of my favorite music experiences are from 70s bands.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, you guys got to babysit Harper back when she was like, God, 3 months old, 4 months old. I don't know
Did
if you. Yeah, back when we lived over on Green Street.
Okay.
We took my mom to go see CCR, which wasn't the 2 Fogerty brothers, unfortunately, but it was everybody else, and that was super cool.
Nice.
And then a couple years ago, seeing Queen was just fucking incredible.
I know. I'm jealous of that.
So
like
awesome.
if they ever tour again, I need to go see Queen.
I
'Cause,
gave the
they're one of
wife-
my favorite bands ever.
I gave the wife so much shit. It is the wife's favorite band, and I gave her so much shit because I told her, like, okay, I bought you tickets to go see Queen for Christmas, but you have to go see Mastodon and Coheed and Cambria with me. And the whole time I just told her, like, just so you know, we still haven't reached the limit of 1 ticket to see Queen. Like, go buy another T-shirt. Let's see if we can hit that.
That's so funny.
But it was
Well, yeah,
worth every penny to see Queen. I'd pay it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's like when I spent. I think it was like 300 and something for a couple of tickets for Gorillas.
Yeah, they were 175.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
Wow.
and we were lower bowl straight back at XL.
Wow. Oh, dude, it's worth it.
But
though.
oh yeah, it's like, when are we ever gonna see him again?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I find it kind of funny that Brian May, how he's more known for being lead guitarist for Queen than he is for being an astrophysicist or some shit like that.
Oh, I
he,
know.
He
Isn't
works
that
with
funny?
he works with NASA to put satellites and rovers on Mars.
I know it's incredible, but yeah, the guy's just a brilliant musician.
Yeah,
too.
but he's known
That's
for.
what he's known for.
Yeah, he's known for doing the guitar solo in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, that is. I know, that is too funny. Well, I mean, that's like that's a reflection on like what our society values.
Yeah.
That's the priority.
Fuck science, but
I mean, believe me, like I
we like Wayne's World.
I
so.
would love. Yeah, no shit. Well, and that's the thing is like, it's hard for science to be as sexy. As much as I would love for it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, like in Wayne's
Yeah,
World
fair
isn't
enough.
necessarily a great example of
Great.
sexy, but it's
Being sexy.
It's culturally significant.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
It's more relatable.
Totally.
That's what it comes down to it. I think people are interested in science. Like, they're like, oh, we discovered this new atom, or we discovered this new planet, or whatever. People are like, that's pretty cool. But I can't relate to that.
Right.
You know, but like pop culture, you can relate to a movie character. You can relate to a song or artwork
Yep.
or whatever, and that's why people gravitate towards it.
Well, and it's easily digestible.
Usually,
A song
yeah.
is super easy to digest.
Usually.
Because you just you pop the tune on, you listen to it, it's however many minutes long, and then you can replay it. Like digesting the science behind putting the rover on Mars, that's the best you can do is you can go, okay, a bunch of people contributed and NASA put a rover on Mars.
Yeah, cool. We have a bunch of pictures. Awesome.
Well, for me, like I look at it as though like, oh my God, this is an amazing feat for NASA to do.
Yeah.
But like, I don't see all the individuals involved because there's probably thousands of people involved in it. So it's like.
But what's funny though is when the said rover passed away on Mars, and the whole thing went viral of his last message of saying it's going dark, I'm getting cold or whatever. Everyone's just like, fuck, I felt
fucking
that.
teared up. I'm not even kidding. I teared up.
Easily.
It was what is it, like battery is going, what the fuck? What did he
something
say?
Something is going dark now.
Yeah, it's going dark now. There was something like that.
Oh, and
You're
the
just like,
feeling.
oh my God, like we've gotten these amazing pictures of Mars for a decade from this beautiful machine.
It was only supposed to last like 6 months too.
Yeah, and it just kept going.
And he was like, fuck you. Like,
and it was just like cruising around Mars, like, well, another day on Mars. Like,
is it sad that
I don't know, today I'm gonna go check out this little hole in the ground. Oh, okay.
With your impression, the movie WALL-E comes to mind.
Nope. I missed the both of them. The first one was better, the second was worse. That's what happens. Yeah, WALL-E definitely comes to mind. Yeah, I know, it was like, how did the entirety of our country like shed a tear over this silly little robot that brought us these shitty pictures? Those shitty pictures were fucking amazing because
incredible.
It was Mars.
Yeah,
it was this planet that like we can't inhabit yet.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe in our lifetime, probably not, but
yeah, probably not. Well, according to Elon Musk, I am sure that dude is gonna do everything he can in his lifetime to see a human being step onto Mars.
That'd be fucking cool.
I guarantee it. He is now the richest man on the planet. I guarantee that he's gonna do everything in his power to do that.
If there was a raffle to be that person, would you do it? Would you toss your name into it?
No. As much as I'd love to, as much as like that sounds like such a cool heroic experience, maybe when I was younger and I didn't have a wife and I didn't have kids, but now when I've got all of those things and I go like, oh no, it's far more important to me to see my son like have his own children or do something cool, like get a good career.
For me, it depends on how like where I am in life.
Wow,
Like,
the fucking look on your face was telling.
Like, how old are my kids in this? If they're at the age they are now, absolutely not.
Well, here's the thing: if I'm 70 years old and they give me the option, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna take a shitload of acid, and we're doing this.
You're gonna get 15 minutes before your heart gives out, but that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Shoot, beat me up, Scotty, at 85 years old.
Just the song Rocket Man cranked up in the background.
I'm gonna rip a line of coke with fucking Elton John playing in the background. That actually sounds amazing, by the way.
And that's how I want to go out.
Yeah, exactly. More than a feeling playing, like launching into space. No, oh God, what would you be listening to? What would be your song as you're blasting the fuck into orbit?
About ready to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
about to fade into glory.
Oh, I don't know what my song would be.
God damn, that's a heavy one. That's a like.
Well.
Cowboys from Hell by Pantera.
Ooh, that's a very good choice.
No, it'd have to be more ridiculous. It'd have to be something like from Top Gun.
So not like Lean Back by by Fat Joe.
That is so good. Because you're kicked back in the seat,
exactly.
right?
You're just like,
lean back. No, lean back. You're like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
I can't go anywhere. My eyeballs are in the back of my skull. Lean back. Jesus Christ.
God. What would be the song I would be? That's a damn good question. I don't know what
dude.
I would pick.
Yeah. There's so many good tunes out there.
I don't know. That's gonna stop. I'm gonna text you at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's gonna hit me.
We'll have to talk about it next week.
This is it. This is the song.
Okay, so the question is, what is the song playing as you're blasted into space. If you could choose one song as you're blasting into space, what is that tune? And we'll talk about it next week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can email us at dadmodsofficial.com or
Oh, no shit. Yeah.
Facebook or Instagram.
Because
or-
nobody's watching this, but if you guys contact us, we'll share your tune.
Yes. Yeah, we'll create a playlist for the takeoff into space.
Oh my god, that's such a good idea. We might have to revisit this in the future when we have a few more people
That's how we're
listening.
gonna fund all of our projects. We're gonna make mixed CDs that are people's takeoff songs.
You realize we have to pay royalties if we're using somebody else's music.
Yes, I didn't say we were gonna make a lot of money. We'll make like 30
A
cents.
few pennies. Yeah. Great. Great. Jesus Christ.
God.
Well, guys, so as you can tell, you're probably seeing a little bit in the background as Donnie moves, as I move. You're getting a glimpse of kind of what's going on with the Ford
Lean
here.
back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, based on the camera, we're not getting too much of the car itself, but
sort of.
for the listeners, for the viewers, so where things are at with the Shoebox Ford is we are now assembling front end components. So
Yeah.
this thing is gonna start looking more like a car soon here.
Yeah, we have the drivetrain in. We started mocking up some of the final components for the drivetrain.
Yep.
It looks gorgeous.
Yes.
And now the fun part of trying to put body panels on.
Yeah. So fitting the body panels, I don't think is gonna be too bad. Getting all of the gaps, the panel gaps, is gonna be tough.
We have horrible luck at everything, so I'm not gonna fucking get my hopes up. We're gonna treat the body panels like we treat our audio.
Yeah.
Optimistic
We're
at
gonna YOLO
best.
it. Yeah. I think it's gonna go pretty good because based
I
on
hope so.
what I've seen from some pretty hacky people on the internet putting these things together, I think we'll pull it off. I think it'll turn out just fine. But it has the capacity to be a pain in the ass. You know, panel gaps are one of those things that's tricky.
It's very tricky. Luckily for us, though, we do know a professional body technician.
Yes, we do.
So we can be like, hey,
give
give us your calibrated
pointers.
eyeball and tell us if this looks right.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're actually not going to use the factory inner fender wells. If I was smarter, I would, because it basically fits, and it's one of those things that adds and ties everything together really well,
Like a rug.
just like a rug.
So
yeah.
sorry,
Until the Chinaman pees on it.
Always gotta pounce on that.
So had I used these pieces, it really adds a shitload to it. But the problem is they're really ugly.
Very ugly.
I mean, a lot of people.
That's because they're an airbox.
Yeah, they're effectively an
duct
airbox.
system.
Yeah. So these things have ball sack coolers on them, crotch coolers as I call them, which is basically you've got vents on the front of these things, and it just forces air through this duct system. And then you got a baffle inside of the car that you can open and close, and that baffle will literally blow right on your crotch.
Yes.
It's wonderful on a hot day.
Yes.
Yeah. But I want to retain those things, but I don't want to have the inner fender structure because it's so ugly.
Yeah,
So-
and we could make it work, but no
yeah,
thanks.
we could
No
make
thanks.
it work. We could strip it down. We could repaint it, and it'd probably look okay. But
We're here.
yeah,
We're here, so let's do it right the
make
first
it.
time.
Let's make it beautiful. So what I'm gonna be doing is ditching those. We're gonna mount all of the components, and then I'm gonna go in and I'm actually gonna build my own inner fenders, and those are gonna be done with dimple dies. And I've got a bead roller now, motorized bead roller. So we'll make it as pretty as we can. And we're actually going to retain the crotch coolers, which I'm stoked for. That's going to be super cool.
We'll have to test those in August.
Yeah, that's going to be
July.
awesome. Exactly.
Oh, do these work? Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah. The dew point has been lowered. Yeah, man. So that's kind of where things are at. We're fitting body components now. So the next video should be out pretty quick here for the Shoebox Ford, for the kind of prettying up the engine bay and all that stuff. As you can definitely see from here that the center portion of the firewall, basically the entire firewall, is now painted. From the video, you can't really tell how pretty it
Yeah.
actually is, but it's there.
Yeah, it's
It's pretty.
there.
It's right there. So it is a like meteor gray, like high metallic.
Yeah, there's the metallic in there for sure.
High metallic, kind of dark gray, dark silver kind of color.
Yeah, and it'll really pop in the summertime and stuff with the hood open and all that. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of metal flake that's going to be under the hood of this thing. Yeah, looks gorgeous. So that's all pretty much done. So yeah, stay
yeah.
tuned as far as the E30 goes.
Well, if we have a warm day and I'm actually back in Minnesota,
Yeah.
we will be finishing up. We're currently deleting the ABS on it still, which unfortunately it's an 86, so I found a couple of bad spots in the brake lines, which added some extra work. But that'll be taken care of very shortly. That's almost done. And then it's, rebuilding a steering rack for it.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
We have an E36 steering rack, which has a quicker lock-to-lock ratio on it. Essentially, if you're racing, it's less movement on the steering wheel to go through the corner,
Yeah, pretty much.
which is fantastic. So we'll show you how to rebuild a steering rack, how to make that fit in an E30, and we're going to clamp the cross member a little bit.
Definitely. Yeah, and what's going to be cool about that series is like each step is really going to be its own video.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you guys, like kind of how we go about fitting the SR20, how we're doing the brake system, how we're doing the steering system.
How we're cleaning up the engine bay, how we're going to
Yep.
mount everything into the engine bay, how are we doing the electrical work, intercooler piping, all that fun jazz. And hopefully have it running right in time for spring would be
as
ideal.
soon as possible. Yep.
Yes, as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's the
But-
goal. As soon as possible. Yeah, so
shall
like basically the Ford served as a really good testing ground for how we're spraying both your engine bay and mine. So
Yes.
I initially was going to use a normal spray gun, normal HVLP gun. Found that like all of my primers were shot. All of those things were shitty.
Just a little bit.
And so what I ended up doing was I just stuck with epoxy primer and high build in a rattle can form. They're still catalyzed, meaning that they'll harden, but they're all in rattle can in the same way that our base and our clear was. And it turned out gorgeous.
Well,
It's really surprising how good it sprays.
and one thing that helped us, you guys can't see it because it's actually right in front of the camera, but we bought a heat lamp. And there'll be a video on the review for that because we bought off Amazon, all that kind of jazz. It works fantastic. I would give it 10 out of 10 for curing paint and a solid 9 out of 10 for keeping your feet warm.
Yeah, I know we should have angled it up a little bit more.
Just a tad, but
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
It's worked wonders.
But that's going to be coming in handy for the E30. As the Ford, it's just the firewall. The E30, we're going to be doing the entire engine bay, so there's going to be a little bit more there. Hopefully, though, that the weather cooperates and I can get my heating system dialed in 100% for that.
Well, that's the thing is like we're heating this thing in the coldest part of the whole year.
Yeah, and by the time we get the rack figured out and the brakes finished up, we're looking end of February.
Yeah, honestly, you're looking at March to spray that thing anyways.
Don't say that. I don't
Well,
want to push that.
we're gonna have-
push it along.
We're gonna spend all that time like welding and stuff
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah, because there's gonna be a lot of cleanup work. There's
Yeah.
random studs that gotta get cut. We got brackets for stuff that no longer need to be there, like you said, welding and all that
Yeah.
fun.
So
jazz.
all of that's gonna take a while. So we'll be like getting all of that prepped. I think that's gonna push into March to do the engine bay. Which is going to be ideal for spraying because then we're talking ambient temperatures in the 20s, 30s, maybe 40s. So it'll be
Yeah.
a lot easier to keep that garage 60, 70 degrees than with the heat lamp, kind
should
of keeping
keep
everything
right.
plenty warm.
Oh yeah.
So when we're spraying that engine bay, I think we're not going to have the problems that we did with this one. Whereas like I had to heat this garage for 3 or 4 days at 70 degrees and still have a heat lamp on. Like, rest in peace, my electricity bill. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, that's the downside of Minnesota. It's like we're blessed with having winter because that gives you time off to build the car. But it gets so cold, you really have to kind of like have a game plan for the winter, you know?
Yeah, totally. Totally. I mean, yeah, personally, I love it. Like, I love having a separation of each one of the seasons because then I can have dedicated tasks, dedicated interests to each one of the seasons.
You don't feel like you're missing out because the car is torn apart.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I love having that focused time for, 5 months or 4 months out of the year where I know that I can't drive the car, so I can plan ahead and I can go, okay, I'm going to do all of these things during that time. And then, as soon as spring rolls around and there's a good rain, then it's game on. Then we're out there driving our cars as soon as we can.
Enjoying everything.
And as soon as salt hits the road, basically. So it doesn't matter how cold it gets in the fall. That's one of the big things is like, you can drive your car unless it's, I don't know, carbureted and it's just like not going to cooperate in the cold.
Or it's an E30 without a idle air control valve.
No, you have the cold start valve.
Oh, cold
you
start
don't have
valve.
a cold start
That's
valve.
what it was. Yeah, the cold start valve shit out on it.
So but basically, like, you can still get it going though. You can still get the thing to fire.
But like this thing, you wouldn't want to drive it when it's into September and it's starting to get chilly and act up and all that.
When it was carbureted. Yeah.
Now it's just fine.
Now with the LS, it's not even going to be
if
a
you
big deal.
wanted to, you could drive it, I don't know, down to Minneapolis for Christmas if you wanted to.
If there isn't salt on the road, that's the big thing. Like, unless the only thing holding you back from driving all year round around here is the salt, because it just fucking ruins your car.
Yeah,
so
it'll eat out in
that case, we drive it as long as we can, and then we tear down and we start building, for the winter or whatever the task is, So that's where things are at.
Yep.
E30, shoebox Ford, projects are moving along.
No, it's winter, so like I said, we're gonna keep pushing out what we can. Thank you for being patient. I know we both have a bunch on our plate, so it's not
Yeah, we really
super
do.
consistent, but we are working on the projects. We will be getting videos out for you, whether that's the Ford or the BMW. So sit tightly. Hopefully you enjoy what we do have out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this has all been a blast. Like, and we talk about this frequently on the podcast, especially. And just like how much fun this is to put this stuff together.
Yeah,
I mean, the podcast, I know like that gets so little views, but
It
this
gives
is
us a chance to bullshit.
Yeah, like this is such a blast. And like, we can't thank all of the dudes who have come out and they've joined us in the podcast as well. Like, it's
every support matters. It's fantastic to see all the thank yous, all the people. Like, I can't wait for the next one. We love it.
Well, and like, just the being able to connect with friends and just connect with people in the middle of this fucking pandemic has been just awesome. Like, it helps us get by.
And if you'd like to join us on the podcast, reach out to us. We are always welcome to have guests on the show. Like I said, we've kind of stuck with close friends and stuff like that. But if you're like, hey, this looks like a lot of fun, I want to talk to you guys, reach out to us and we'll make something work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, unless you like follow QAnon.
Yeah, if you're fucking weird, if you got shag carpet and a waterbed at home, don't fucking reach out to us.
What's hilarious is I had a waterbed growing up, and I'm pretty sure we had shag carpet in the house.
God.
On that bombshell.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We always appreciate you watching, listening, whacking off to us, whatever you're doing. Thank you. Dicks out for Harambe.
Yes.
And we will see you next week on another episode of Brews with the Dudes podcast. Thank you. We love you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.